In the heart of America's fractured justice system, where a single slap can ignite a firestorm of rage and revelation. Imagine this. A courtroom erupts in chaos as a rogue cop unleashes his fury on an innocent black girl, only for her CIA powerhouse mother to storm in, flipping the script on corruption, power, and hidden agendas that could topple empires. If you're in the USA or UK, hooked on edge-of-your-seat thrillers like The Wire meets Homeland, smash that subscribe button now for more pulse-pounding stories that expose the shadows behind the badge. Don't miss out, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications to join the revolution of raw, unfiltered narratives. The courtroom in downtown Atlanta buzzed with the kind of tension that hung heavy like storm clouds over the Georgia skyline, the kind that promised thunder but delivered lightning instead. It was a sweltering Tuesday afternoon in July, the air conditioning in the old municipal building wheezing like an asthmatic on its last breath, and Judge Harlan Whitaker presided over what should have been a routine misdemeanor hearing. The defendant, a 17-year-old black girl named Aaliyah Thompson, sat at the wooden table with her public defender, a harried man in his 40s named Marcus Hale, who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Aaliyah was accused of petty theft, allegedly lifting a bottle of soda from a corner store after a long day at her part-time job, but she swore it was a misunderstanding, that the clerk had waved her through without ringing it up. Her eyes, wide and defiant, scanned the room. A smattering of bored spectators, a couple of reporters scribbling notes, and the arresting officer, Sergeant Derek Voss, a burly white cop with a mustache that screamed 1980s action flick and a reputation for bending rules like pretzels. Voss stood near the bailiff, arms crossed, his uniform starched to perfection, but his face twisted in a perpetual scowl. He had a history, whispers in the precinct about excessive force, complaints swept under the rug by a department more interested in quotas than justice. Aaliyah's heart pounded as the judge droned on about evidence, her mind flashing back to the arrest. Voss grabbing her arm, so hard it bruised, slamming her against the patrol car, his breath hot with coffee and contempt as he muttered slurs under his breath. "You people always think you can get away with it," he'd said, and now here she was facing him again. The proceedings took a turn when Hale stood to argue for dismissal, pointing out the lack of video footage from the store and the clerk's inconsistent statement. Voss shifted uncomfortably, his eyes narrowing at Aaliyah like she was the embodiment of every frustration in his life. Divorce papers served last month, alimony payments draining his wallet, and a promotion denied because of those damn sensitivity trainings. The judge leaned forward, rubbing his temples. "Counselor, I'm not seeing probable cause here. Officer Voss, care to elaborate on why you felt the need to escalate this to an arrest?" Voss stepped forward, his boots thudding on the linoleum floor, and launched into a tirade about disrespectful youth and upholding the law. But Aaliyah couldn't hold her tongue. She'd seen too many videos online, too many stories of kids like her getting railroaded. "That's a lie," she whispered, loud enough for the room to hear. Voss whipped around, his face reddening like a tomato under pressure. "What did you say, girl?" he snarled, advancing toward her. The bailiff moved to intervene, but Voss was faster. His hand shot out, connecting with Aaliyah's cheek in a resounding slap that echoed through the courtroom like a gunshot. Gasps rippled through the spectators. Hale jumped to his feet, shouting objections. The judge banged his gavel furiously. Aaliyah reeled back, her hand flying to her stinging face, tears welling but fury burning brighter. Blood trickled from a split lip, and the room froze in that surreal moment where reality bends and consequences loom. But then, the double doors at the back of the courtroom burst open with the force of a battering ram, and in strode a woman who commanded attention like a general entering a battlefield. She was tall, poised, with skin like polished ebony and eyes that could pierce steel. Dr. Elena Thompson, Aaliyah's mother, but known in shadowy circles as Agent Alara Thorne, a high-ranking CIA operative specializing in counterintelligence and covert ops. Elena had been in D.C. that morning, briefing senators on a classified threat from foreign hackers. But a frantic call from Aaliyah's school friend had her chartering a private jet back home. She wore a tailored black suit that screamed authority, her heels clicking like metronomes of doom as she marched down the aisle. "What in God's name is going on here?" she demanded, her voice cutting through the chaos like a knife. The judge's gavel fell silent. Voss turned pale, his hands still raised as if caught in the act. Elena's gaze locked on him, and in that instant, the room felt smaller, the air thicker. She pulled out her phone, already dialing contacts that could make careers vanish. "You just assaulted my daughter, officer." In front of witnesses. Big mistake. As the courtroom descended into pandemonium, reporters scrambling for quotes, the bailiff cuffing Voss on the judge's order. Elena knelt beside Aaliyah, wrapping her in a fierce hug. "I'm here, baby. It's over." But it was far from over. This was just the spark. Elena's mind raced. She knew Voss's type, but something nagged at her. Why target Aaliyah so aggressively over soda? As a CIA agent with access to databases most cops could only dream of, she decided to dig. That night, in their modest apartment on the outskirts of Atlanta, Elena sat at her laptop while Aaliyah iced her cheek on the couch. "Mom, why'd he do that?" "I didn't even steal anything." Elena's fingers flew over the keys, hacking into precinct records. Not legally, but necessity overrode protocol. What she found chilled her. Voss wasn't just a hothead. He was on the payroll of a local gang, the South Side Serpents, funneling tips and covering tracks for their drug operations. But deeper, a name popped up, Victor Kane, a shadowy figure in Atlanta's underworld, linked to international smuggling. Kane had ties to Russian oligarchs, the kind Elena had been tracking for months in her CIA role. Was this connected? Aaliyah's theft happened near Serpent's stash house. Maybe Voss thought she saw something. The next day, Elena confronted the DEA, flashing her CIA badge like a trump card. "This goes beyond assault. My daughter's case is dismissed, and Voss is going down." The DA, a slick politician named Rebecca Lang, nodded vigorously, but Elena sensed hesitation. Lang's office had buried Voss's complaints before. Why? Twists began unfolding. Elena tailed Voss after his suspension, watching him meet Kane in a dingy warehouse. Using a drone from her CIA kit, she recorded their conversation, Voss begging for protection, Kane laughing. "That girl's mom is trouble. Handle it." Elena's blood boiled. This wasn't random. Kane knew about her. Somehow, her cover was compromised. Flashback to Elena's past. Orphaned young, she joined the CIA after college, rising through ranks on ops in Afghanistan and Syria. Aaliyah was born during a brief marriage to a fellow agent who died in the field, leaving Elena to raise her alone while juggling secrets. Now, those secrets were bleeding into her family. As Elena delved deeper, Aaliyah insisted on helping. "I'm not a kid, Mom. Let me in." Reluctantly, Elena agreed, teaching her basic surveillance. They staked out Kane's mansion in Buckhead, Aaliyah spotting a familiar face, Judge Whitaker entering through the back. Corruption ran deep. That night, intruders broke into their apartment, masked men searching for Elena's files. A fight ensued. Elena, trained in Krav Maga, disarmed one, but the other grabbed Aaliyah. "Tell us where the drive is," he growled. Aaliyah, remembering her mom's lessons, kneed him and ran. Elena subdued them, unmasking one as a serpent enforcer. Interrogation revealed Kane's plan. Frame Aaliyah to draw Elena out, exposing her CIA links to his Russian backers who wanted her dead for thwarting a cyber espionage ring. The plot thickened when Elena contacted her CIA handler, Marcus Ghost Riley, a grizzled veteran in Langley. "Alara, this is bigger. Kane's tied to Operation Shadow Veil, a Russian plot to infiltrate U.S. law enforcement. Ghost sent reinforcements, but betrayal lurked. One agent, double-crossing for Kane, leaked their location. A car chase through Atlanta's streets ensued, Elena driving like a pro, Aaliyah in the passenger seat clutching a burner phone. Bullets pinged off the car. They swerved onto I-85, dodging traffic. "Hold on," Elena shouted, ramming the pursuers off the road. They escaped to a safe house in the mountains, where Elena revealed her full story to Aaliyah. "I never wanted this for you, but you're strong, like me." Back in Atlanta, Voss, out on bail, went rogue, kidnapping Hale the Defender to lure Elena. A tense standoff at the warehouse. Voss holding Hale at gunpoint, Kane smirking in the shadows. "Come out, Agent Thorne." Elena infiltrated, using gadgets, smoke grenades, night vision. Twists piled on. Hale wasn't on it, paid by Kane to botch Aaliyah's defense. "You bastard," Aaliyah yelled, having snuck in against orders. Gunfire erupted. Elena took a graze but dropped Voss with a precise shot. Kane fled, but Aaliyah chased, tackling him in a move that would make her mom proud. FBI swarmed in, courtesy of Ghost Tip. In the aftermath, Voss faced life for corruption and assault. Kane extradited to face treason charges. Elena's cover held, but she retired from field ops, focusing on family. Aaliyah, empowered, pursued law school. The courtroom slap that started it all became a symbol, exposed in media, sparking reforms. But one final twist: a letter arrived from Elena's supposedly dead husband, hinting at deeper conspiracies. The end? Or just the beginning?